Well, welcome back to the greenhouse, and it's seedy Sunday today, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to, well, I have plans of what I want to sow, but when I get out into the garden, other things come up, and I pinched back my mums and that I do for fall sales. And so we're gonna maybe plant some of those up. We're gonna check on the peanuts that were sprouting. I'd like to get outside, but it's raining again. I'm not trying to complain about the weather because we have nothing compared to the tornadoes that are happening down south, and I'm thinking of everyone down there. It's terrible. But let's see what mess we can get into today. All right, these are all of the mums that I pinched. I will get these taken care of, but let's move these aside. I'm not sure if I'm going to film that for you guys. I don't know if you guys even care. I overwintered some mums, which I typically do, and sometimes it's successful and other times it's not. Last year I did not have any success in overwintering any sort of mums. I did end up growing some from seed, but they weren't traditional looking, and I sold a couple, but people didn't know what they really were. But let's check out these peanuts that we put in this bag last week. I think there's a little bit of something going on because I did check it a couple of days ago, and they definitely have swollen. You can see a little bit of the taproot coming out there. So, and it's been really, really cold and not much sun. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time, even though it's been a week. I said, oh, well, it takes about a week. But these have been outside, so in the greenhouse. So I'm going to give it a few more days. This one looks like it's swollen. I don't see any taproot yet, but I think that we're going to get something, especially out of this one. All right, put that back in the bag. It's a mess. I am not a neat gardener. I watch all these YouTube channels and they're like, oh, do it this way or that way, and they're so neat and all of this, and I do something and it's a mess. All right, let me get cleaned up. So I just found these in the greenhouse. I found this very interesting. I typically will take store-bought potatoes that the eyes are starting to grow and pot those out, and I'll go out here and check the ones that we did back in March. But I had a little bit of growth, can you see, starting on these eyes, and so I brought them out into the greenhouse hoping that there's right there. They really haven't done anything, and I have never had this happen. And I had heard that or seen other people talk about, there's like growth inhibitors sprayed on store-bought potatoes and such, and I never had any of that experience. I always have had plenty of eyes growing out, and I pot them up and harvest essentially free potatoes. This is the first time I've never had a potato actually sprout. I think that that's really odd. But let's go out here and check the ones that we did back in March. All right, these are the potatoes that we did back in March, and you can see they probably could use another bit of soil. I go right up to the rim there, but I haven't been able to tend these as I would like because It's been so rainy, but they look wonderful. I don't see any flowers yet. Flowers means that the tubers are starting to form, but yeah, they're looking really great. All right, I've had a super busy few hours at the stand out front, and I did end up planting up the mums because the sun started to come out and they were starting to get a little wilty, and I sowed sorghum seeds in the cells that I didn't have enough mum cuttings to fill the tray. So I did that. I didn't film it, but like I said, I was super busy back and forth filling up the stand and keeping that supplied, so I didn't have the camera on. But I did decide that I need to sow some other things anyway. Let's see, thinking some squash, zucchini, corn, and let me get out some cells and see how many seeds I have. I don't know what I have. The sun's starting to come out, so everybody's outside working. Sorry. And walking, so my dog is like, there's people walking by. I don't blame everybody. I'm honestly, the noise sounds really good. Honestly, people haven't been out because it's been raining or windy. It is kind of windy still. Nothing, like I said, like down south. I'm not complaining. But it has been really windy. Okay, so that's not gonna fit. I need to find something else. Hold on. I'll get the seeds and one more cell tray. All right, I got the cell packs all full, and I'm going to plant corn. This is the corn I'm planting this year. I did this because you can eat it early on as sweet corn. You can let it mature and a little bit longer on the stalk, and then cut it off and can it or freeze it, preserve it like that. Or you can let it fully mature on the plant and use it and ground it as flour. So, and of course this might be something that I add into the chicken feed. So I was trying to find seeds that had multi-purposes because I have such a small yard, a small space. Oh, even the kernels have a little bit of purple on them. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see the little flecks of purple? They're so pretty. I think I got like 34 or 35 cells here. I'm just gonna drop a kernel on each. It's like I was planning on having chickens this year without even knowing that I was getting chickens. Something was telling me I was getting chickens, so I just started planning. I don't know what that is. That's fuzz. This is just soil from my compost. I didn't do anything special. Whoops. This cell is I'll stick that in there because it keeps wanting to fall down. I think I'm just going to do all corn. I thought I was going to do all kinds of things, but I especially want to make sure that I have enough growing for my own. I'm going to buy chicken feed, but I'm going to supplement with the stuff that I'm growing. That's my plan. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know how much I can produce. The sorghum will also be part of the chicken feed, at least the seed. I'm hoping that maybe the stalks and stuff I can find a way to grind that. I do want to make syrup from the stalks. That'll be fun. I may get to that this year. I'm not sure. Our growing season is already pretty short because of the terrible weather that we've been having, but that's what I decided to grow. So this week is some corn and starting some sorghum, and you can see the cuttings that I had done from the mums. I can't wait to see those this fall. I don't know what colors they're going to be. I forgot. I didn't mark my containers. So I'll see you next week in the studio, and let's grow together.